Hi everyone, welcome back to the open house series for South Puget Sound Community College Spring 2020 edition. Today we are talking about financial, food, and other basic need resources. And so we have professionals on campus that are going to be sharing some information for you all in hopes that we can help connect you to the resources that you need as you adjust to spring quarter. So my name is Robert Lane. I'm the Director of Student Life at South Puget Sound Community College. And for this particular resource, I oversee our food pantry on campus, and I'll be sharing some additional resources with you about where you can get access to food if that's something you're looking for. Rob, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole. I'm the housing coordinator. I run the homestay and the apartment program. I've been working with existing students in the athletic department and also the international department, and also domestic students to help them seek and acquire apartments and also homestay housing. I work with Jen as far as getting them situated with all of the financial help that they need. With the current COVID crisis, I've been helping students get help through the CARES Act when necessary, with the, having them seek out help from their advisor with what kind of help is there with the current situation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Jen, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Jen Manley. I'm the Dean of Student Engagement and Retention on campus. And one of my roles connected to this group is linked to housing, and particularly student emergency housing, to support students in need and kind of intersect with a lot of the folks here on the call, how we help manage student needs. So happy to be here, and I'll be talking a little bit more about how students can access support if they're in emergency need of housing, where Rob and I can kind of connect on what those resources are.
Drew?
Hi, my name is Drew Cassidy, and I am a workforce transition specialist, specifically over the worker retraining program. The worker retraining program is for students who are making transitions in the workforce, and we help get students foot in the door funding sources for the first couple of quarters of any type of technical training program. And worker retraining is just one of the programs under the Workforce Transitions umbrella, which also includes BFET Work First Opportunity Grant. For anybody interested in that program, we have a full orientation that they can access by going to startnextquarter.org and signing up to attend an online session where we will email them the information and provide them with the application that they need in order to see if they qualify for any of those programs.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew. Tanya?
Hi, my name is Tanya Huffines, and I am also a workforce transition specialist with the Work First program. I also have some information with some connections with BFET, Basic Food Employment and Training. And as Drew said, if you're interested in applying for those programs, you can go to startnextquarter.org. There's a survey you can take. You can sign up for one of our sessions, but right now, because of the COVID-19, we are just sending the application materials through email, and you can just complete those and send it back to our workforce email. If you need assistance with Work First, you can connect to my student or my email directly, thuffines@spscc.edu. You can also find that information online on our website under Workforce, but we can help with tuition and books, fees, sometimes some supplies. We can help keep your DSHS benefits open and help connect with other as needed. What you need.
think we lost Tanya for just a second. So we can connect and talk about workforce in just a little bit. But if you want to move on, and we'll try to get Tanya hooked back up.
Hi, I'm Amy Barra. I'm the Director of Financial Aid and Veteran Services here at SPSCC. In the Financial Aid Office, we are busy making sure that all of our processes are still running. You can still check your FA portal for updates on your current award and for next year. If you have any issues related to the COVID-19 crisis, then you can contact either your academic advisor or your financial aid advisor through Compass. You can look at your Success Network and it will tell you who to contact. And if you're having any issues and you need assistance, contact them and they will get you to the right people in order to access any services that we have available through our campus. In addition, all of our forms can still be submitted online. We have all of our financial aid forms through your My SPSCC portal. So if you were to log into your portal and look at financial aid online forms, once you click on that, you're going to be directed to select the academic year. If you want to submit something for this academic year, you're going to click on the 1920 year. If you're doing something for the next academic year, which starts in the summer, you're going to click on 2021. And then I'll have all of the forms available for you to submit. If there's something that you're having a problem submitting, you can definitely take a picture, you can scan it, and you can send it directly to the financial aid email at financialaid@spscc.edu. And we will be able to respond to you and get that information. So if you need to complete your file or submit an appeal, you have a couple of ways that you can do that.
Awesome, thanks, Amy. So I figured at this point we can kind of share if there's anything that we did want to share in addition as far as how to access your particular area to just make it nice and easy for anyone that is tuning in. So I'm happy to go first. And then I'll also train all of you professionals on how to, as you screen share, how to avoid annotation as previously discussed. So with that in mind, I'm going to share my screen one, go under more and disable participant annotation. And basically for the food pantry, currently the SPSCC food pantry is closed. However, we are a partner of the Thurston County Food Bank, and so that means that your benefits that you would be able to receive here, you can still receive at any of the satellite campuses that did remain open, as well as the main downtown location. And so for you to find the closest spot for you and any updates on where you can get access to food in a quick manner, if you go to our main SPSCC webpage, it has been updated in response to our virtual help and services. And so as you scroll down, you can see that cancels are closed. There's a food pantry and food services. If you click on that food pantry link, it'll take you to our main food pantry website, which will then say that we are currently closed, but you can utilize other Thurston County Food Bank locations. Again, if you click on that link, it will give you any update from the Thurston County Food Bank on what's open, what's not open. And so you can see their main location is still open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as of April 14th. They have suspended their Wednesday evening hours, but they still are open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 3 downtown. And then an update on what satellites are closed, what satellites are still open. And again, your benefits are transferable, so you'll still be able to do the 15 full visits, the 15 partial visits, and the unlimited supplemental. At this time, they have moved away from the shopping model. And so if you've utilized our food pantry before, you've been able to pick out like, oh, I like this cereal over that cereal, or these vegetables over those vegetables. In order to reduce contamination, they have pre-boxed things. And so you'll identify how big your household is, and they'll simply get you checked in, and then they'll hand you a box that is appropriate for the household size that you belong to. And so that's just temporarily. Of course, they understand that The feel of the shopping model obviously feels much more personable, but just due to the COVID-19 outbreak, we are just kind of trying to limit the exposure and not let 200 people touch a can of vegetables before you put it in your basket. So they are pre-packaging those. And so that is what I wanted to share as far as our food pantry. And so that still is a resource available to you. As far as the future of our food pantry, as Governor Inslee announces the restrictions being lifted, we'll continue to be in communication with our senior administration here on campus to evaluate when it would be appropriate to reopen. My hunch is that we will open on a slow pace, so we will start a few days a week before we get back to our normal 3 times a week, 4 hours a day. And so you'll see any kind of update for our food pantry right here on the website. It'll have any kind of update as far as when we're going to reopen, what it's going to look like, and how you can start utilizing those services again. And so just wanted to take a quick moment to share with you that. That's all I have from the food pantry perspective. And so Rob or Jen, if you kind of want to talk about housing or emergency grants or anything like that, I'll kind of leave it off to you two to take over.
Sure. Rob, if it's okay, maybe I'll start with the emergency process, and then you can add anything related to the apartments that you'd like to add. Hi, everybody, again. Great to see you. This is so much fun. Happy to share information about housing because I think as a college, we're just so pleased to be able to offer multiple housing options to students and want to make sure everyone's aware of what's available and how to access it. We've have a great partnership with the state board this year in piloting a program where we're able to provide emergency housing for students that are in unstable situations or experiencing homelessness right now. And so we really want to make sure that students are aware of that opportunity and how to find the link to that live application. So that is on our website. Under the personal support page, which I would just recommend all students go to that page. It's a really nice place to be able to find the food pantry and a lot of the services that we're talking about on this call related to childcare services, veteran services. A lot of critical student needs are on that webpage. At the very top where it says housing, it just says emergency housing. So you just want to look for where it says emergency housing and it says, if you need a place to live right now, click here. And that's where you want to click. It says the student basic needs application, and that will go directly to our case management where we will directly contact students to be able to assess the situation. Depending on the housing need, we want to make sure that we're placing students in the best fit environment with the off-campus apartments that the college has available to place students in either a 1 or a 2 bedroom unit with full furnishings so that we can provide every opportunity to meet a student's basic needs to help them to be successful, to include Wi-Fi and utilities. And so those needs are accessible to students who qualify. And by qualifying, meaning you're a student in need that's experiencing those challenges. So we want to make sure that we receive those applications through the website and are able to review those with each student individually to meet those needs. So that's what I would probably want to promote first and foremost to any student who's experiencing crisis right now, that we're here to help. And then also that I will mention the emergency grant, and also I know Amy also is very experienced with the emergency grant process as well, but the link to right underneath, there's the basic needs application. Then it also asks the question, do you just need help with rent or utilities, or do you need help paying bills right now? Are there other resources that you might need related to your housing, but you may not necessarily need shelter? So it just kind of helps to clarify that. And that information is there to the Foundation emergency grant process, which is accessible to students for that type of support with rental assistance or utility bills, things that are short-term expenses that students really might be facing challenges with right now. So both of those are coupled side by side on that website for depending on the need that you have. So Amy, I don't know if you have any more to add to the emergency grant process or any details from the financial aid perspective that I might have left out. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry. I don't.
Okay. Okay, great. So I think what I'll do is, and I'm not sure, it looks like maybe Rob is left.
We lost Rob.
We lost Rob. Okay. Well, what I would add is all of where we house students are off campus in 2 off-campus apartment complexes. And so the units that Rob was discussing about our apartments also include, we have some space available currently in those units as well for COVID-related crisis or students experiencing other challenges that need support with housing. So that application is also on that housing website. You know, again, I think the most important message is just to say housing resources are available. All the names on this call can help direct you to the right person and to those resources, and just know that shelter is available if you need it. So that's it.
Thanks, Jen. If we want to move on to Drew/Tanya.
Well, I would like to also let students know that if they need to apply for any support services such as TANF, temporary assistance for needy families, or if you're needing food benefits, medical, childcare, those types of things, that they can go to washingtonconnection.org, and that is the state's application for any of those benefits that you may need. Do you have any?
I'll just go ahead and share our website screen so that we can access the on the website, because I believe there's a link to the Washington Connection that you're speaking about. Can everybody see that? Okay, so this is the workforce transitions page on the SPSCC website. And if you scroll down and click on any one of these, basic food employment and training, or I believe under Work First as well, it should link you to the Washington Connection website that you're talking about, Tanya. And also provide you with a high-level overview of the types of assistance that each of these programs can provide, as well as direct you to where you can find out if you qualify for any of these programs. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you can access the eligibility survey, which is where you also sign up for the online orientation that we are conducting, where you will get contacted by one of our workforce specialists to go over your application and find out which of the programs that you qualify for. So for anybody who believes they might fall into any of these categories, this is a good starting point for you. I don't believe we want to go through the full Start Next Quarter orientation, but but I can go over a quick overview of that real quick. So once you have completed the survey that's available on the Start Next Quarter website, you will be sent, because of your sign up, you will be sent this presentation, which goes a little bit more in depth than what is listed on the website, and talks more specifically about how you qualify for each of these programs and what each of these programs can assist with. I would say that from this perspective, the most important component of this presentation is the types of degrees and certificates that qualify, as well as our contact information. So how to reach any of our workforce specialists, myself, Tanya Huffines, Sonia Curie, and then Amy Ibarra is standing in for the Opportunity Grant as well. Is there anything else I should add to that, Tanya?
No, I think all the information is there, as long as they can get to that information, and they can always reach out to one of us with more questions if they don't get their questions answered by PowerPoint.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean, anybody who I think I speak for all of our workforce specialists in saying that even if you're not sure if you qualify for any of those programs, you are always welcome to reach out to us, because we can link you up with somebody else in financial aid who could link you with some of the types of financial aid assistance that are available to you. Like Jen was speaking about, the foundation grants that are available, and then all of the opportunities that are coming up as a result of the COVID crisis too. And I'm also an educational planner, so if you have any questions about your educational planning, you can reach out to me for that as well.
Thanks, Drew. So if we want to pass it over to Amy for anything additional that you might find useful, or tips or tricks for our students.
It's not letting me share my screen.
Okay, I made the other Amy Ibarra one a co-host, so now you should be able to.
There we go. All right.
Will the real Amy Ibarra please stand up?
So, all right. So if you were to go to our website and go to Pay for College and click on financial aid, you will find the links to your FA portal and all of the financial aid forms, as well as all of the steps that we have in order to apply for financial aid. So if you already have an award letter and you have questions, you can certainly contact your FA advisor. But if you haven't applied yet, you can certainly follow all of these steps in order to apply for financial aid. We are still awarding and reviewing as normal. So if you need to access financial aid forms, you can do that by clicking on the FA forms, and it will take you to your My SPSCC portal. And from there, you'll see on the side where it says financial aid online forms. And from there, you can select the academic year that you want to view forms for. And then this is where you can submit all of your forms electronically. In addition, if you want to do something for 2020-21, you can also do that here. If you are looking for your advisor, you can log into Compass. And if you click on your network, your success network, it will show you who is both your financial aid advisor as well as your ed planner. So if you're experiencing any of the issues from COVID-19 and you need some additional help, you can contact either your financial aid advisor or your ed planner, and they can get you where you need to go in order to access those services. Let's see. In addition, Jen touched on it earlier. So if you want to apply for student success grants, you can go to scholarships from our website. And from there, you would click on apply for foundation and student success grants. So this is another place that you could try to access additional help if you need it through tuition and books, as well as emergency funding. So you can either contact your advisor, your financial aid advisor, academic, or you can submit a request through the Student Success Grant Emergency Fund in order to access those services. I think that's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. So with that in mind, we kind of have one of two things. Yesterday, the library and tutoring, what we did is we all kind of we stopped and we turned off our cams and we muted ourselves, and we kind of just like waited for a while. So we kind of we went about our business as far as like, if you need to like walk into the next room and like get yourself a sandwich for lunch, or if you're going to work on your next PowerPoint. And then if someone does chime in, we can just hop on, answer the call. Obviously, I know a lot of us are being pulled in multiple directions. So if some of us want to leave and some of us stay behind and we can kind of cover the spread, I'm happy to stay on the call and redirect. at least to the basic starting points for all of your areas. But I'm really open to whatever you all think is best. But I know we did have it scheduled for 11:30 to 1, not knowing how many people would show up, how long the presentations would take. And so I just want to be kind of mindful that we did say it was to 1. So I'm, in case someone does show up later thinking that they can get their questions asked, to kind of find that sweet spot. But again, want to be respectful of what other people might need to do, knowing that we're all trying to do 15 things at once. So.
I'm fine with muting myself and stopping my video, but still being like present. Mm-hmm. And then if like if anybody shows up at that point, it like pings me and tells me, and I can pay attention.
Yeah, I'm good until 1:30.
Okay. Okay, so again, if you do need to jump off, just let me know either through chat or just say something. But we can just like turn off our mics and our video so we don't have to stare at each other until someone comes in. And then what I will do is I will send this once it updates to the Zoom cloud. I don't even know what that means, but once the video does that, I will send it over to Sarah for editing, and it'll eventually be posted. So I just wanted to say thank you for taking time out of the first couple days. I know it's really hectic, and I'm hoping that, even if this finds 4 students, that it was extremely helpful. Yesterday, it felt very, I felt very like we did the right thing. We actually put it together because there were some students that were really lost and could really use just that hands-on direction. So although no one has logged in yet, I'm hoping maybe someone watches this video, or someone does log in between now and 1, and we can kind of help them. But just wanted to say thank you for your willingness to collaborate on this. I know it's a little bizarre, but I do think that some of these things are really making me question, like, why don't we have some of these things like this? Like, there's no reason for us not to have basic tutorials. I mean, Sarah doesn't have to edit everything, or she can do this where she makes this look pretty, but we do the grunt work of actually doing the presentation. So just wanted to say thanks, and I'll go ahead and stop my video and mute myself. And if anyone comes in, I'll start talking, so you should hear me. Yeah,
Robert, before you leave, actually, I have questions about the library, if you can answer them from yesterday.
Yeah, I can try my best.
So I've heard that the library is going to be loaning out Chromebooks, like beyond the ones that we are providing for purchase through the bookstore. Is that correct? Because I'm still unclear on a lot of this information.
Yeah, it's been a moving target, and I'm going to let Jen answer the question because she's been the closest to it. But the short answer is yes, but she's going to give you a better answer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and yes. So if the goal is to help students get the technology that they need, right? So making sure all the information that was sent out to students, whether or not a Chromebook is sufficient for their course load, number one, right? Because certain classes require certain softwares or things that a Chromebook won't support. So making sure that a Chromebook is the right computer. So the library has both the Chromebook or a Windows laptop, limited inventory of both available for loan. But really the priority was, again, having students get access to purchasing the laptops through the bookstore. If they can actually get one that they personally own, then we still have the loaners available to either, while they're waiting for that to get shipped, they can borrow one in the meantime. So that's still available. Or if they just prefer to borrow one in general, that's fine. So yes, the library is still a completely open and accessible option. And so there's a web form, I think, that went out with the financial aid letter that gave students the information on the web link to the library laptop loan program, where they can just fill it in and request a laptop to loan real quick. So if you need, I can send that out to you, or anybody that needs it.
That would be great.
So that's been populating, and so the library checks out the laptops and then gives them to student life staff to distribute from the Minute Center lobby, so that we can just do a drive-through over there, so students don't have to actually physically walk in the library. So they'll be contacted by the library staff that one was checked out to them, and where they can pick it up during those distribution hours. And so for this week, it's been pretty minimal so far, because so many students are getting access to technology through the other funding source, but it's definitely an option still. So if students need to borrow one for any reason, they can still go through the library.
Are we still authorizing funding through the technology survey too? Do we still have funding available for that? Okay, I just wanted to check in on that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had an update, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. And my understanding is the survey is still open and accessible for students to populate if they're in need of technology this week. So keep them coming, and that's another place, right, where they can categorize if they have multiple needs, technology and other needs, they can populate that web form so that the financial aid team can vet that and get them the right resources. So yeah, that's great. These are good questions.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
It's been great. No, there's a lot of laptopping going on this week. We'll call it.
I would say that if you have a student that it's an emergency, that they really need a laptop like tomorrow or something like that, to definitely maybe look at renting one or checking one out through the library. Because once they turn in the request, we're processing them as quickly as we can, but if they're requesting a laptop or a Chromebook, it has to be ordered and shipped. So it will take a few days for that to happen. So if there are some available through the library and they want to try to get it right away, that might be a really good option.
And if you just know of somebody, again, just say, hey, Jen, we've got somebody, I need the web link, or, they're not sure how to get one from the library, just let me know, or let Scott in the library know. We're talking every hour on the hour. We're getting students loaners, so just keep funneling them through the library and we'll get them to them. So we're just doing 4-hour-a-day increments out of the Minute Center. So just kind of alternating 10 to 2, 1 to 5, kind of just trying to get students, just windows of time when they can come pick them up. So if those times aren't accessible in any way for a student to come pick them up, then let us know too, and we can do appointments or other things to get loaner laptops to students. I know the library is being very generous in all the ways that they're getting loaner laptops to students. So if you hear of any other barriers to getting one, then let the library know too. But absolutely, Amy's right. The turnaround time on the purchase is, everything's being expedited as quickly as it can, but with classes already starting, then we want to get a Chromebook or a Windows machine in students' hands same day, which we can do. So if anybody needs
and Drew, if you have work first students, you have students that are working through my program or who are eligible for work first, we have at least, I think, 17 or 18. We have a 20, but a couple of them have been rented out, but we loan them out for the whole quarter. So you can just have them reach out to me.
Yeah. I haven't been worried about your students. I know you got them covered. Yeah. So.
And all of the laptops out of the library have been modified for quarter long, just to mirror the same process. So they can have it for the whole quarter, or if they just need it for that time, until their laptop arrives, they can get it for that too. There's isn't a limit on how long they can have it.
And then one random thing that I thought of for financial that I got information about was Peterson Energy has just released basically an update of funding up to this distribute almost $11 million with a combination of working with the Washington State Utilities Commission. And so people are qualifying up to the 250 percentile of the federal poverty level. And so if you are a student and you are experiencing issues with paying your utility bills, even before you go to the foundation, for that emergency grant, another avenue that you can look into is there is a crisis affected assistance program basically for Puget Sound Energy that they have just released as of this morning as well. So just another thing.
Great.
So if there are no other questions between all of us, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. I'll stop my video and mute, but we will still have this active Zoom chat until closer to 1. And then of course, if it's 12:50 and no one has joined, we can obviously end it a couple minutes early, but appreciate you taking some time today and hope it finds itself in the viewership of some of our students here in the near future.
It will. Well, this has been a lot of good resource sharing, Robert, even with us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Yeah.
Bye.